Taoiseach, you're right, there's a lot of issues going on that should be discussed in this Dáil, but I think what people have seen over the last few days has just created more cynicism towards this government and so-called democracy in this country. But I want to raise two things that happened yesterday. One in my own constituency where a landlord...
Just one item, Deputy. No.
Yes, it's around the one issue, but it was two instances.
One issue.
Yesterday in my own constituency, a landlord attempted to carry out an illegal eviction. This involved a couple with a one-year-old child. The landlord, while the family were out, came into the flat, cut off the electricity, took off the front door and changed the locks on the main door of the building. They made contact with my constituency office, and the Councillor Pat Dunn, who works in the office, responded very, very quickly because obviously the family were distressed, fearful, didn't know what to do, didn't know who to turn to. And he went down and was able to manage to sort out the issue and explain to the landlord that he was in breach of the Residential Tenancy Act 2004. Now, he was very lucky because he didn't know what he was going to go into. He didn't know if there was heavies down there or what was happening. The landlord reinstated electricity, put the door back on and changed the locks again. But the point I want to make is an important point, Taoiseach, is that this very distraught tenant, facing the prospect of his family being on the street, said to Pat that before he rang my office, he rang the guards not once but 4 times. The Gardaí refused to intervene, stating it was a civil matter. This is not the first time this has happened in my area, because about 6 months ago I sent a letter into the Dublin South Central Policing Forum asking for clarification on the Guards' position in relation to illegal evictions, and we got a direct reply from Garda headquarters that this is not that the Residential Tenancy Act was not criminal legislation and they didn't get involved in civil matters. So an illegal eviction of a family is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. And yesterday again, 12 people in Edenmore were arrested for peacefully protesting against the installation of water meters from a private company, a subcontractor employed by Irish Water. Now, Section 12 of the Irish Water Act has been quoted to these people, saying that the Irish Water and subcontractors and agencies can install water meters. It says nothing about that it's illegal to protest. So there seems to be 2 laws here being administered. One for a criminal offence in relation to installation of water meters, and then no criminal offence for the illegal eviction of a family from their home.
Thank you, Deputy.
So I think, you would think I would agree with me, Taoiseach, is that this is wrong, it's immoral, it's unfair, and it should not be happening. The law should be administered equally across society, and not one law for private companies and private landlords and another law for families threatened with eviction and illegal eviction and people who are peacefully protesting against the installation of water meters.
Good, Margaret. Taoiseach.
I don't know the details of the case that you've mentioned, Deputy Collins, except the circumstances that you outlined there. I would say that the Cabinet Subcommittee dealt this week with the question of the housing position, homelessness, social housing, the actions that have been taken by Dublin City Council and so on to deal with a problem that is not getting better, put it that way. The Minister for the Environment was to meet this week with the 4 local authority managers about that situation. Now, if you want to give me the details of the case, the specific case you mentioned, whether it be civil or whatever, I'll see whether anything can be done about that. Though if it's a civil action, it's a civil action. I would say to you that I had a couple of phone calls yesterday myself from people who live here in Dublin, and the contract companies working for Irish Water came to install water meters, and they were harassed. They were harassed. Now, peaceful protest in this country is perfectly legitimate, but it's not legitimate to stop people from going about their duty and their work. And the Gardaí have had to be called in a number of cases where much more than peaceful protest actually took place. In other locations around the country, I've had evidence of where when work started in some estates, that suddenly people arrived to protest. And I've had evidence of residents actually coming out and asking these people to remove themselves. So it seems to me as if there are some groups who travel from location to location to protest, as you say, and they're entitled to protest, but they're only entitled to protest legitimately, and they cannot interfere and should not prohibit the people going about their lawful work. Irish Water is designed to bring quality water infrastructure for the country, and that should not be interfered with. There's a process that the law applies for everybody here. And as I say, in many other parts of the country, contractors have installed water meters without anybody appearing, and have done a first-class job. And it's all part of the capacity to provide high-quality water for the people of our country and for business for years to come.
Deputy Joan Collins.
Yeah, you don't need meters to have good water. The question I'm asking Taoiseach is very simple. The Gardaí refused to act to stop an illegal eviction by a landlord and saying it's on the basis of a civil matter. Yet, while other people stand peacefully over a water shore, are told that it's an illegal protest. And they quote Section 12 of the Irish Water Act, which says that Irish Water and their agencies can install water meters into an area. It does not say that that person should not have the right to say, I do not want a water meter. Now, you brought in questions of people travelling around the country and around the city and all that. I was at a meeting last week in Drimnagh called by the Drimnagh Residents Support Group, a residents association in the area, where over 300 people came out and said they did not want the water meters installed at their premises of their homes. So when an ordinary person comes out and says to Irish Water or the subcontractor, I do not want a water meter here, go on to the next house if they want a water meter. That's quite legitimate. And instead, the guards are being used to be brought in, standing on the estates, taking regs of cars going in and out, removing people from the stopcocks over the shores and arresting them, bringing them down to Coolock Garda Station and telling them that they wait and see if Irish Water or the subcontractor is going to press charges. This is one law for those who have plenty of money and one law for those who are peacefully resisting, ordinary people coming out of their homes. Ordinary people coming out of their homes with their children and saying they do not want a water meter installed, and in the knowledge that they will get an assessed bill in the future. They're well aware of that. They're not doing this blinded at all. They do not want a water meter, and they are absolutely very angry, and I think it's just a microcosm of the anger out there that this government is imposing another tax, austerity tax on people. I want clarity from yourself, Taoiseach. Why has one law been used for in one circumstance, another law being interpreted by the guards has been a criminal matter with protesting for water meters?